What up, folks? Here we are. We are live, and let me actually show you what we're going to be doing tonight. No need even to beat around the bush. Give me 2 seconds. I probably should have did it even before the show started, but welcome everybody. I know it's been a couple of weeks. We've been away, but I told you guys. Number one, life happens, but number two, when there's not a whole lot to talk about, we're not going to force ourselves to find something to talk about. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense for us to do that. Oops, let me get Smitty back in here. It doesn't make sense. There we go. Doesn't make sense for us to do that, to just find something to talk about. But we have a lot to talk about here today. So we're going to jump right into it. We'll probably save the introductions for the most part because, I told you guys before, Thursdays are still have become a little more tough for me now with, the one day, well, actually two, but the one day I commute back into the office is Friday. So I have a super long commute. I got to get to bed early. I got to do stuff with my son. So I try to cram the show. We try to condense the show to about an hour. If it goes a little over, then okay. But usually I definitely got to be done by 9:30. So that's why, you may have noticed a little change in marketing of the name there. I called the show the Sim Standard Power Hour. So me and Smitty are gonna jump right into it, man. If anything you want to say, Smitty, real quick, man, before we get into it. I know we want to say hello to you guys. We're back after a few weeks off. Oh, I can't hear Smitty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the mute button down.
Go.
I'm sorry.
All right.
No, we back with it. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about other stuff. I know we ain't even talk about the draft stuff. We ain't talk. It's been a minute since we ain't talked about just in general. But there isn't, like Sim said, we don't try to force episodes. So we didn't want to necessarily talk about stuff that when there really is nothing to truly talk about. So yeah, but no, man. Ready to get into this information. A lot of good information here, and I'm honestly surprised to see that they did this much. I mean, we did say what we said about EA having to show up and step two. From what I've read so far, this is looking pretty good. Like, I can't front. I mean, I've only played the game for, because I was fortunate able to get the beta code. I've only been able to play a skosh of it. So I'm not going to sit up here and be like, I could give a full-blown impression until I play it a good amount more.
No way to do
that. I can't. But I will say that from what I've read and the little I've played, I am impressed. But once again, like I said, I got to dive into it. I'm skipping a stone on the surface right now to honestly be like, yo, what they did was like, I can't give all that right now. So,
yeah, me about the same, man. Fortunate enough to be able to get a beta code. I did find out. I'm going to say this, but I can't promise it. I might have an opportunity to get some codes. I'll keep you guys informed if I do, and I'll do the giveaway and all of that. But I just want to put it out there that it might be a possibility. I think it will happen, but I don't know for sure yet. But again, like Smitty said, was fortunate enough to get a code. I work from home. Y'all know that, right? I am a manager. No, I'm in management now. I've been that way over a year now. I manage a team. I tell y'all that because sometimes when you work from home, people think you got all the time in the world, right? I had no time today. It was all work. I've literally played a quarter and a half of the game, enough to see a couple little things that I saw in the trailer that I was like, not enough to give you anything. You guys who will get a chance to play the beta will see that, currently, well, it's on the website. I don't have to, say it for them. Go to the website. It'll tell you what the beta is including. Right now, it's play now and play a friend. So I look forward to doing that this weekend. Being able to play online, because that's really where it's going to show its mettle, is when it's user versus user. And I'm going to play a little bit here while we're on the show. But again, I got to, get to bed relatively soon tonight. So I'm not going to be able to sit up tonight and play. I'll get to it tomorrow. But like Smitty said, for the most part, man, what I'm going to be doing with this beta is just matching up what we're going to go over here tonight in the article with whether or not I see that happening on the field. And that's it. And let's get to it. And like Smitty said, matter of fact, we got a donation. Hold on. Y'all are not going to hear the round of applause. I haven't figured out quite how to run. Wait a minute. Y'all might hear it. Let me see. Let me see if y'all hear it. 1 second. StreamYard is a little different, man. There it is. Y'all let me know if y'all hear that. But I'm throwing a round of applause to King Arthur with the quick donation. He says, I definitely have to wait and see approach with Madden. Just got my PS5 today. Congratulations on that. I hear it's still hard to get them. So congratulations. He says, Sim, I hear zone defenders have new logic and won't just cover grass. That is what I'm hearing too. We're going to go over some of that here tonight. And yeah, listen, let me just say this first and foremost. Y'all said no sound. Okay, yeah, I haven't figured out, man, how to funnel my computer sounds through StreamYard. It works when we do, when we stream through OBS, but StreamYard doesn't really seem to allow me to do that, even though I think this is the best platform where me and Smitty can be on together. There's no lag. I ain't got to resize windows. We can do this really quick, like flip to right to different screens and boom, love that type of stuff. So can't hear sounds. I'm sorry. You'll just have to take my word for it. But anyway, let me say this, Smitty, and then we're going to jump right into the article, man. I'm going to put this statement out there. Most of you guys probably know this already. The whole go crazy off a trailer, off of news, it's the same game. I'm just not in that community, guys. I never was. I know we once got lumped into that because, when we started the Sim Standard, we were pushing for innovation and change. And then things got shuffled in the middle and people disagreed. And then some people approached it this way, some approached it that. I'm just letting y'all know now, it's just not how I do stuff now, especially all these years later. I play a game, I give it feedback, I look for what I like. That's it. I say the good, I say the bad. And I say all that to say this. As we're reading this article, me and Smitty are giving you our thoughts on what is being said to us. That's it. This is not our final thoughts on the game. We don't know that. The game has not come out yet. So once the game releases and it has all of these components, then we will let you know if what is said in these articles are matching up. But our main purpose tonight is to just give you our thoughts prematurely on what it sounds like. We'll be able to come back perhaps next week and give you some concrete, as far as, okay, I'm seeing this in the beta. And that's it. That's our only intention at this point. All right. So I think it's very important to say that. We got another donation, man. So let me do a round of applause this way.
Hey, yo.
King Arthur, again, appreciate it. He says, also, I hear there are 3,500 new animations and zone defenders will now cheat over to areas where there are threats if they are not in their zone. That is music to myself and Smitty's ears, if that really plays out. Y'all know how long we have talked about. I have been saying, I don't want to see them play grass. You've heard Smitty say, I want to see them look for work. We've covered every phrase there can be when it comes to dynamic reactions to zones. So we love that. I will caution you with the 3,500 though, because our good buddy Azure said this earlier today, and me and Smitty have to agree. We've seen this in previous years where there was advertised a set number of new animations, and when you played the game, you didn't see so many.
Yeah.
So hopefully player sense and hit everything and all of that will bring more of that out. But,
I can say this little bit. I mean, see, I don't have a full-blown sample size, but what I will say, though, is that I've had some plays where the running back got stood up in two different ways. And the hit stick tackle was not a forced 2-man animation. It wasn't any of it. It was like it was an organic hit. So it was like dude went for the hit, but it was all relative. Like the hit was relative to the scenario. You see what I'm saying? Like how you've heard Sim and I say 10 trillion times, especially me. You know, I've emphasized it about physics and seeing the story of the play be told.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to play with. I played a little, and I only played. And understand this. This is like I've only played a handful of series, and I'm seeing this stuff. So this is good. I got to play more, a whole lot more. But to see Christian McCaffrey get stood up, and it's like the jostling match was going back and forth between him and the defender, right? But then to see other defenders come in and pile on, and it looked, Sim, it was kind of like looking at Madden 13 when they first brought the Infinity engine into it, but it was a whole heck of a lot more cleaner. Which it was organic, like an additional 2-3 dudes came in and hit and took the whole thing down, but it looked a lot better. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And the other thing I like too, though, is, and once again, like I said, I got to play a lot more, but I'm playing against the Carolina Panthers, and in both of in the series that I had played, they heavily relied on McCaffrey, which makes perfect sense because he's their guy. You know what I'm saying? They ran it, they kept trying to run it, or they kept checking down to him. So I'm like, okay, all right, that I'm liking that. Now I gotta play a lot more, like I said. You know, there isn't a practice mode in there. So we got to basically learn the passing mechanics via just trial by fire. Like put it on rookie and tamper with everything and play it that way, you know, if we need to. But other than that, I do like the player models look good. They actually look, you know, they look right. You don't see, I know some people complained about the player models with the knees being bent for the longest, standing up with the knees bent. They got the legs straight. You know, now I ain't look at the Titans yet, but I saw the screenshot that was posted at first of Derrick Henry. And I mean, my man, he actually got the big arms now. He doesn't flex his muscles and he got tiny little, you know what I'm saying, scrawny little muscle and everything. Like, no, he's actually in proportion.
Bruh.
So, like, I can't wait. I can't wait to play more. But go ahead, Sim.
Me too. And I promise, guys, I'm not going to take away so much about what I'm seeing here. We're going to jump right into this article because, like I said, my time is a little limited. But I just saw something here, and I'm going to say it. And for all of y'all in the chat, Smitty and everybody else who might be listening, anyone from EA, which there is some EA watching, I'm not going to say their name because I don't do that. If they choose to say who they are, great. I don't recall seeing this before. Ironically, it's happening with Stephon Tua, which he retired. Yeah, I told y'all. I told you. But anyway, dog. First play of this game here. I got it on all Madden. I'm playing against the Miami Dolphins. All this is relative because I don't know offensive line. I'm just giving y'all the scenario. I call a cover 3 sky. Tua drops back to pass. We get a sack. I'm looking at the replay. Stephon Tua comes off the line. Starts with 2. Then he long arms with the one arm, the left. Just the left. This one is up in the air. Pushes the shoulder pad and pushes the offensive lineman out of the way and makes the sack. I've never seen that in Madden. I've never seen that type of pass rush. He punches first, then he takes his left hand and steers and then discards him with the left. I've never seen that. I never seen that. And I don't listen. I'm not sitting here saying this is gonna. I don't know. I'm sure there's a level of I get it. I'm just saying I've never seen that. And I did see earlier on Twitter. I think it was it Sim Gunther, one of those guys that was saying right now his biggest fear is that they are going to touch pass rush and defense, which is in a good spot right now.
They said it in the blog already. You gotta be mindful of the timing in the pocket because the engagements are not going to be held up forever.
Dog, you should see
your pocket will collapse via the pressure, and it won't necessarily mean the defender beats your old lineman. Your pocket will collapse, and they're encouraging you got to step into the pocket to throw those passes. So you're asking people to actually play football. And we all know what happens when they actually get asked to actually comply. They bust out the complaints. They're gonna go all on the phone. Oh, I don't know how to pass. I can't do blah 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 blah. Somebody gonna try to be a beta champion, you know what I'm saying, out here, and then they want stuff to get nerfed just like that before the game even has a chance to breathe.
Yeah, man.
And it's like we can't have that. But no, go ahead, man.
Somebody says, explain more what you mean. And my man put it here perfect, Rich Hud. It's something that Cam Hayward is known for. It's that one arm extension. You know, it's hard for me to explain what it is, but it's like they're directing. I see some defensive linemen have that. They have that two-hand punch, and then they kind of, manipulate your movement with their whatever hand they're going to use against the shoulder, kind of using your leverage against you, and then he pushes them out of the way. I wish I could show it to you, which we can't. It's a beta. The rules say we cannot. So there you have it. I'm not going to break that, but all right, man. Let's get into the article stuff because, wow. Again, I was busy today. I didn't have a chance to really read most of this. Smitty read most of it. I did read the one about player. Why do I keep calling it player? Was there a player sense in a game?
Yeah. Remember, player sense was in Madden 15.
Okay, that's why I keep sounding familiar.
Yep.
Field sense, and for the record, field sense is not exactly what I thought it was. If you saw my video yesterday, I was thinking it was more AI based, AI awareness. However, according to what some people are telling me, the zone play will seem to encompass that a little bit. So let me put my reading skills to test, guys. We're going to basically just take this chunk for chunk. And like I said, I'm going to definitely let Smitty guide a lot of this because he's read it already. So I'll kind of skim. It says, for the most part, that they've heard our feedback. Since the launch of last year, they know how much coverage has been a thing. Those that I know at EA, those who I will go as far as say have grown a relationship with over the years. I talk to them all the time about coverage. Everybody knows the struggles there, right? And they're saying that they are attempting to rectify that this year, and this is how they're doing it. For the most part, one of them right here says spot drop zones. I'm going to tell y'all something about this in a minute after I read it. It says, we will be featuring spot drop zones as our core zone coverage concept within our defensive playbooks and AI. This means that by default, all the zone coverages in our playbooks will be strictly using spot drop zone logic and covering a specific area of the field instead of a mixture of both spot drops and match coverages like we had last year. The main purpose of this change was to make the play art and the play call screen the central source of truth for players so they can better predict how their zones will react during the play. Match zone coverage concepts are still accessible through our coach adjustments menu during your play selection. Simply flipping the zone coverage coach adjustment to match will bring back our in-depth rule set for match coverages, those that convert from zone to man during the play, when specifically calling the match coverage play types. Question I would have there, Smitty, is has there been more rules added? What I mean by that is we know how the game has kind of handled palms and special and things like that in the past. Are those things up to par? Or is it simply what we already had last year? You can turn that on when you want to, and they haven't done any adjustments to those. We'll have to, wait to get further clarification on that. But real quick, before Smitty goes, I'll say this. This was a conversation that I had in the past with someone at EA, and they kind of explained why this might be a better approach. And honestly, guys, from a video game standpoint, I think this is a better approach, making it something that you can control. Here's the reason why I agree with it. Yes, as the sim head, as the guy who wants the game to work on its own, remember when we said that some of this stuff is complicated and the average user doesn't understand all of those match concepts and when you should do this against trips and 2x2 sets and all of that. And they didn't, when they added those things in there, they didn't update like the training videos. I think that was the reason why they've gone with this approach. So you make the regular zones work as intended, and then for those who have more football acumen and things like that, you can select match coverage. So now you can kind of have a strategy. Like if I know I want to do match against my opponent, I can simply go in and turn it on. I don't have a problem with that, and here's the reason why, is they didn't take it out. So that's one area where I'm going to give EA credit. They didn't strip it out. They just now allow you to control it. I don't have a beef with that, in my opinion. But I hope it works as intended. That would be my only thing. But what you got, Smitty?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. As far as taking a look at it, like, I think what they did too, just looking at it here real quickly, they, along with having the coverages, they also had said that I think they reduced the playbook down in terms of specific coverages, so that way you don't have as many. Like, defenses in the NFL are calling a lot of base defenses, but they're just different varieties that look, they have the same look, different variety. You know what I'm saying? So it's like saying like a base 4-3 defense, but then they're calling cover 2, cover 3, cover 1, all out of it all appears relatively the same. So that's what that to your point is like what they did. They made it a lot more simple. So that way people can just, like I said, the people that are not as savvy, I could just pick this base defense and I somewhat are going to be in the ballpark. But then somebody who's really on it, they, they can step it up. So, but I mean, once again, I haven't had nearly enough hands-on time to really talk about this like that. But what I will say is, I'll give my impression based off of what they have here. Seeing guys not cover grass is going to be a big thing for me. And I want to see that across the board, regardless of how good or how bad a defender is. I want to see people play or try to make plays. Like, I had a handful of plays. I had a defender make a break on the ball that was thrown to the flat, but he missed it. And the receiver made the catch. But I love the fact that he went for it. Like, the pass was thrown and he just didn't stand there looking silly for a change. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, it's a ball that he could have made a play on, and he tried to make a play. Not passes thrown, I could make a play, but I'm just going to watch, wait, let him receive it, and then, oh man, let me chase him. No, it's like he made the read as soon as, and I know they have the feedback out there already, like some defenders break on the ball too early, but I think they said that was for mid and deep routes. But
I could put that on screen.
Still, the fact of the matter that it's there, it's like, yo, like that's the kind of stuff we want to see. So I want to see these guys play, you know, like try and make plays. They don't have to make it, but at least I see them trying for it. And I'm like, okay, that happens on Sundays. I could live with that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but there are some of the known issues. I'm not gonna. Let me just put the link in the chat. I'm not going to spend time on that, but again, me and Smitty's standpoint is always going to be how will this play out when the game drops. Do I pay attention to stuff that happened last year? Of course. You know, last year the beta had its issues, of course. But how will you finish? And more importantly, down the road, what will you change? Hopefully you don't change things for the worse. I don't want, if people are having trouble beating defenses, or they feel like defense is too good, or the zones are too good, or I can't do this, I can't do that. No, do not bend. Do not waver from your vision of what this game was supposed to be. Next up, it says draft logic for deep zone defenders. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Yep, there we go. Let me flip back. It says here, draft logic is all new coverage behavior to deep zone defenders. The logic prevents deep zone defenders from drifting too far up the field without having a vertical threat in their area. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to read that again. This logic prevents deep zone defenders from drifting too far upfield without having a vertical threat in their area. My good people, how many times have you watched my Madden feedback videos and I'm showing you, usually Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm usually showing you Terrell Edmonds or Minka Fitzpatrick. And a lot of times I've used Minka because Minka is that guy back there, and he has much higher awareness. He's a better player than Terrell Edmonds. And how many times have you heard me say, why is he drifting back so far? Why do they just keep drifting and they don't pay attention to who's in front of them? Will this address that? Sounds like it. We have to see it in action. It also says this will prevent those third window throws on deep crossing routes. Drifting logic allows the defender to recognize a receiver approaching his zone sooner, plaster him in coverage as he crosses his face, and not get beat underneath. Players told us those third window crossers were completed too consistently, and this new drift logic aims to address that feedback. Man, not just me, a bunch of us out here in the world, competitive and simulation guys, gave this specific feedback. Now we have to look and see how it plays out. And why do I sound excited? Some of you guys might say. Well, let me tell you this. I'm always going to be excited by what could be. I don't want people to get that twisted, Smitty. I have to do that because people always do that with us. No. Why wouldn't you be? How this stuff is reading, and we're not even through this whole article. It's reading like exactly what we want to happen.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Because I already saw somebody send me, oh man, it's the same. Listen, this stuff is exactly what we have been talking about for years. Yep. Will it play like that? We will soon find out. But there's no reason for me to poo-poo this information that they're saying is supposed to work, because this is what we've wanted. But what do you think about that drift logic, Smitty? I already know what you got, but man, tell the good people.
See, this is feedback gave since Madden 13, since we first went down to the building, because I would always talk about the safeties. I would wait till the game came out. I would create players 99 overall, zero awareness, zero zone coverage, all that. And these dudes just literally fall back into their zone no matter what. Doesn't matter what route is being ran, they always fall back into their zones with no one there. And then I will switch it over to APF or 2K5, and these dudes barely move. It's like they only move a little bit. They take a few steps back unless there's a threat that comes their way, then they'll actually backpedal because there's somebody coming
Minka
their
do
way.
it all the time, Smitty. All the time. Yeah. Minka does it all the time in the real world. The ball is snapped, and he's literally like this until about 2 seconds later. Then he reacts.
Yeah.
He don't just go drifting.
Yeah, you just don't run all the way back. Like,
come on, man.
So
it's a reason why they back that far, so they can survey the field.
Yeah. So to see that this is actually being attacked now, how well we got to see. But this goes to the point. A lot of this stuff that I read, there were key things that I would read that literally are feedback that Sim and I have both given, publicly and privately, as well as in the building. You know what I'm saying? Literal discussion points drew up on the feedback board, you know, in the whatchamacallit, in the discussion, the postmortems.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why I just want to say to just sidebar for a hot sec. This is exactly why we've said they listening, they hear what we're saying, but they got to be able to do it. If they let them do it and they let them actually build, it can happen. We always say we don't know when, but they can do it. And this is like a prime example of it where it's possible. I mean, look, going into the next part, you talked about the drift logic. Look at that, the locomotion. New animations where players are turning their hips and stuff like that. Like, come on. Looking back for the ball. How many videos have we put out about the DBs looking for the ball, actually locating it, from the beginning, back when Backbreaker was coming out, and that was brand spanking new. Sim posted APF video. Look at how the receiver locates the ball, looks it in. Look how the DB locates the ball, goes up, makes a play on it. We've been saying this stuff for the longest time, dude. And I mean, many other people have said it too, you know, spoke and everything as well. But it's like, these are things we kept coming to the table with, to the point where it's like, we said it.
Yeah.
They know already. They know. These articles literally let it be. They know already. We told them. So, yeah, and this is why I'm saying, and like what Sim said before, and this is just an old point we made before. What we're looking for innovation wise is not going to be some groundbreaking feature.
Yeah,
it's literally making refinements to give us authentic football gaming experience. Sim, it just gave you a football gaming experience example with Stephen Tuitt. I gave you a football example with Christian McCaffrey, with my Lions players and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's valid. And I mean, we're not blowing it up and saying, yo, they did it. No, we can't do all that.
We don't know.
We don't know that yet. This beta is not going to let us know they did it, because there's going to be problems with it, and they still got to fix it, tighten it up, all that good stuff, and finish it and ship it. You know what I mean? But the key thing is, after looking at all this and going through everything, can we walk away with confidence and say, you know what? Based off of what they did, what they innovated upon, hey, yo, I got to give them credit. They actually got something here that's viable with the mechanics, with how the core gameplay is. This is something that can actually lend to giving a unique football gaming experience game by game. Ooh. That would be awesome to be able to say for once about Madden. Mm-hmm. So that's what we got to wait and see. Because, like, what as I said before, it's all about core gameplay and innovative efficiency. How efficient is all this stuff going to be post-launch, post-patches and stuff? how much is this stuff going to hold up, or is it all going to become a wash because they're going to water this down and dial this back and turn this up and move this over and all that? Like, so we got to see what happens when all that happens. So
it's just like my man 757 just said. He says, actually, it's pretty simple as football. Yeah. And I'm going to quote what he says here, and I fully agree. Matter of fact, I could even throw it on the screen. On paper, it sounds phenomenal. And that's the reason why, if you hear anybody giving credit or saying, man, it sounds good, because it does. But none of us will know how this all will play out until the game is out. Like I said, my objective with the beta is for me to see how much of this I can match to what is said in the article, minus known issues. And then once the game releases, for those of you who wish to get the game, then that's when you decide what it is. You know, to me, it's too premature to say what this game is or isn't at this moment. So again, we're strictly just talking about what it sounds like. What it sounds like. So let's move on. The next thing it says here is zone defender locomotion. I think Smitty read a little piece of this, but I'll just read over it again. We've captured a whole new set of defensive back specific movement and animations, and along with AI support. Ha 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 ha. Hold on, that's reason to pause for me. What did I say yesterday about what I thought player sense was? And I wanted to know how AI will apply to that. What did I say today, actually, when I did the video, if you guys saw it, when I did the live reactions video to the reveal trailer, and I said, dang, player sense, why do I keep saying player sense? Field sense is not what I thought it was. And I said, I hope AI is still a part of this. I want to see how the AI plays out. Okay, so they're saying something about AI here. Let me read it again. We've captured a whole new set of defensive back-specific movement animations, and along with AI support, the defenders in Madden 23 will backpedal, flip their hips, strafe, and look back at the ball more smoothly, more athletically, and move more realistically. Not only will the defensive backs look the part, but these new movement animations also get them to where they want to go with more efficiency, which will make passing windows against zone coverage much tighter. Listen, man, it reads very well. That's all I can say. It reads very well. Let me move on to the next section. Route-specific breakup on throw logic. And what is this all about? Like I told you guys, I hadn't read this article today. We've also added dynamic break times for each type of zone defender when facing specific routes. Zones that are supposed to take away specific routes or areas of the field will now break on the throw faster versus those routes than they will against routes. I'm tongue-tied there. It says, let me read that again. Areas of the field will now break on the throw faster versus those routes than they will against routes their zones are not designed to take away. One example of this is a hard flat zone aggressively breaking on a route to the flat instead of leveraging deeper routes first. Another is a deep outside third defender in cover 3 breaking faster when a corner route enters their zone. Hey, man, it reads good. Okay? It reads good. I'll read the last two, and then me and Smitty can discuss. New end zone coverage logic. Oh, Lord, Smitty. I know it ain't say that. Did it just say end zone logic?
Yep.
I know what some of y'all gonna say. Sim, why you so gassed? Why? Listen, I told y'all I hadn't read this article today, and y'all, I'll post a video right now of me talking about where's the awareness in the end zone. Y'all seen them? You guys who really rock with me, y'all seen these videos. So y'all are saying to yourself, man, Sim talk about that all the time. All right. It says here, previously, our deep zone defenders made little logic adjustments when they were covering in the end zone. This resulted in defenders squeezing down on routes break into the inside while disregarding the underneath zone defenders. Why can't I read tonight? Resulting in the sidelines and the corners of the end zone being left wide open. This year, those outside deep zone defenders stay outside and sit on those outbreaking or third window crossing routes. They let the route come to them. Then they aggressively break on the throw. Let me read the last one, Smitty, and then we'll just talk about all of this coverage real quick before we get to pass rush. It says, with our DB catch versus SWAT, with our zone coverage defenders playing stronger fundamentals football, we have tuned the balance between play ball, play receiver, and SWAT so that you'll see defenders use a wider variety of behaviors when the ball is in the air, rather than always attempting for the interception. Can somebody say the name AzureEffect? Can somebody please just say we love Azure? Put that in the chat. My man Azure, and somebody clip this part of the show. Please do it and send it to him. Can somebody please say the name AzureEffect? My man Azure has talked about this for years. Yeah. As a matter of fact, in our league, we turn down interceptions for this very reason. I'm going to read it again. It says here that the play ball, play receiver, and SWAT has been adjusted so that you'll see defenders use a wider variety of behaviors when the ball is in the air rather than always attempting the interception. I'm telling y'all right now, that is music to Azure's ears. Right there. This coincides with tuning on how far defenders are allowed to see the ball when not facing it and promotes more organic mid-air interactions and catch point via our field sense, hit everything branching technology and mechanics. This coincides with tuning on how far defenders are allowed to see the ball when not facing it. Once again, people, it's very good to see the very things that you have talked about over and over and over again actually being told to you in this article. We've asked for this. How will it play out? We shall see. But y'all got to excuse my excitement because it's like my man Pusha T said, not on this album, but the album before this, the Kanye album, when he said, if you know, you know. Smitty has been in that room with me for years, and we've been pounding the table. This is how defense has to work in the game. No, we're not telling EA and the devs because they're very intelligent. We're not telling them something they don't know. We're just saying we got to have this. This has to happen in the game. So to finally see this being something that's advertised, and I'm going to go a little deeper with it, Smitty. You usually can't sell stuff like this. This ain't no out of the back of the box feature. And this is what I be saying when I tell people that a lot of the changes that they try to make yearly is not for casuals. Even though we all can agree hasn't been a full simulation game, true. This stuff ain't for casuals. This stuff right here is not for casuals.
No.
Man, that's all I got on that component until we move to the next section, man.
Right. I mean,
what are your thoughts on all of that, Smitty? All of that zone stuff we just read.
Simple. I mean, years of feedback given. I was excited when I saw that about the distance they're able to see the ball for making a play on it, because what that looks like to me is, especially when it comes to trailing technique.
Have mercy.
We saw little hints of that back in Madden 13 when we was first playing it. When they would throw the pass and you would see the receiver, the defender was looking at the receiver, and the receiver would go up for the catch, and then he just puts his hands up, and sometimes he knocked the ball out, and it's like, yo, like, oh, okay, they trying to do something with it, you know. So it's cool to see them do that.
Oh boy.
How far the well goes, how deep it goes, we got to see. But the excitement, I can't even get mad about seeing the excitement of it because I ain't gonna front. Look, I was excited at some of the stuff that I've read because I'm like, for years, you know what I'm saying? Years, like, yo, I've been wanting them to do stuff like this. And they're finally doing this kind of stuff. And, you know, so now how well, we'll see. Once Sim and I are able to really dive into this, we'll be able to really say something. Sim probably had something happen. What happened?
Oh boy,
you gotta tell it. You might as well tell it now. What happened?
I just accidentally turned on the freeform reticle.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I put that. Smitty, listen. For the last, I'm gonna be modest and say the last 5 years, I've tuned into a Smitty stream of whatever Madden it was for that year. And I've heard him say this each time. See, I need to be able to put that ball in that spot and throw him open. And if he doesn't catch it and nobody catches it, if it's one-on-one and nobody else is there, I should be able to throw it away if I need to. Dog. First of all, I didn't know when it popped up because, and I'll say this really quick too, because it might confuse some of y'all when y'all play the beta. Reading all of the passing stuff, it makes it seem like you have to turn something on as far as freeform and all that. But now I think I just figured out you go into that when you hit the modifier.
Yeah.
So let me just explain it to y'all really quick, man. When you go into the settings, it's gonna say the only two options you're gonna see as far as like the skill-based passing is it's gonna say passing type and then passing slowdown, which I ain't never doing that. That's cheesy. But you have passing type, and then you have freeform reticle max distance. It's close, far, infinite. Freeform reticle speed. It's defaulted right now at 7 of 20, whatever that means. And then you can turn on whether you want to see it or not. You want the reticle to be visible and the meter to be visible. You can turn those off or on. But the other stuff that they talk about, like free form and all of that, I think that's just the modifier, the L1, L2, sorry, on PlayStation. And I just did that because I said, oh, let me hit that modifier, and it came up. But because I wasn't ready for it, I put it out too far. But because I did that, my man had to lean for it, and he couldn't get to it. And it was just an overthrown ball that I decided to do. Why is that important? Because any of you dudes who play in sim leagues, y'all know sometimes you play against a good person and they got your defense locked down. And you're just trying to get rid of the ball. You just want to put it out in front. You can do that now. You can do that now, according to what I just did. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's all I got. Listen, and I heard that you can throw phase now. See, I haven't tried none of this. I haven't had a chance.
Mole tweeted me and said, like, man, can't just wait till you throw some of them fade routes. See how that works out. I'm like, oh gosh. And you know, Sim knows, for those of y'all that been rolling with us for the whole way through, remember Brozales.
Oh man.
And he did the APF challenge when we did the challenge against Madden. I think it was Madden 10 or whatever back then. And you literally was throwing sideline catches, end zone catches.
APF was on another level.
All day on them boys. Now I want to see what happens when you do that in Madden, throwing them boys. Because now you can. You can actually lead it out there. What's it going to look like? How's it going to play?
This pass rush is mean, bro. So far.
I love it.
What's up, Brett? And don't get it twisted, guys. I know Brett gets it. I'm not enthusiastic about the game. I'm enthusiastic about what is being advertised. All of this stuff has to show up in the game.
Yeah.
Because if it does not, if any of these areas is misrepresented, guess who's going to be here on Thursday saying, man, Sim and Smitty. Y'all already know that. But all right, man, let's keep it moving, man. Let's go to the next article because, man, time is a rolling. It's already 4 minutes to 9. So see if we can be done, man, by 9:30. Pass rush and QB contain. It basically says here what we have truly created this year is a larger pass defensive initiative for Madden 23 by fine-tuning our pass rush to increase pressure and refining disengage efforts from defenders to deal with mobile quarterbacks. Okay, it says quicker get-offs to all pass rushers. Pass rushers are now going to get off the ball much quicker in Madden 23. Any blitzing player will have much shorter delay times and reacting to the snap that opens up more QB pressures when calling stock blitzes. In addition, yeah, I just got sacked by one. I'm dropping back and thinking I have the same time I have in 22, and yeah, he came right in. He didn't go crazy. He took the right path, and I got sacked. It was literally like 2.5 seconds. In addition, new animations for both blockers and pass rushers during their battles result in the pocket forming more naturally while also collapsing faster. QBs will have to step up in the pocket and or use checkdowns more often to consistently get the ball out before the pass rush gets home. Smitty already mentioned that earlier. Let me keep it moving here a little bit, and then we'll just talk about it overall. Rush lane integrity. Pass rushers got new logic and playbook assignments that will improve the integrity of the pass rush lanes, i.e. gaps, when rushing the passer. This means that each lane will be filled by a rusher while avoiding having multiple rushes in a single gap. Oh, that was been so ugly in previous games.
Yeah.
Which will essentially allow those defenders to block themselves and take them out of the play. Disengage improvements, excuse me. Stopping mobile QBs has always been a difficult task for defenses, but in the NFL and in Madden, it's been tough. That's what they're saying. But in Madden 23, we've added new AI and tuned some of the defensive behaviors to give the defense more balanced tools to deal with mobile quarterbacks. We've improved disengage animations for pass rushers to get away from blockers faster, for both one-on-one blocks and double team blocks to pursue the quarterback when they roll out. We've also improved the prediction AI for the contained players so they'll be more responsive in anticipating when the QB is going to take off so they can react quicker and get themselves in proper position to take the play or make the play rather. Great. Anything you want to comment on that, Smitty, before we go into this blocking?
The key thing that I like is like what you had spoke about. I mean, quicker get-offs for the pass rushers, huge, because the NFL, that's like you're trying to make it more close to the NFL speed of the pass rush, which we've talked about tons of times in the past.
Yeah.
Making QBs have to step up into the pocket. We'll see how true that actually holds up, because
absolutely
we've had the years of the read and react system where if you drop back too far, you won't see no icons, and people still would run back 15, 30 yards deep, and they're dropping bombs still when they shouldn't be able to. So it's like that's been an ongoing thing. And I mean, you see when they did the top Madden plays of the week and stuff like that, they would have instances like that where people would throw those kind of plays, looking at tourney guys and stuff like that, seeing them play head-to-head games, seeing those kind of cheesy plays happen with somewhat kind of regularity. Mm-hmm. And it's like, nah. You should have to make people do things within the confines of football, because that's the sport they're playing. That's you need to replicate. It needs to replicate in an authentic fashion some way, somehow. So, excuse me, I definitely love that with the pass rushers and the lane integrity. That goes hand in hand. Once again, making the look authentic. You're trying to make it look authentic in terms of how a pass rush will look in real life. That's what that screams out to me. Now, how clean will it be overall when it comes to playing the game consistently? That we got to wait and see. But I'm good with it, bro. I'm good with it because these are things these are things that we have talked about, especially when Backbreaker was. How many times did we nail it about Backbreaker and the pass rush? You
that
had
pocket,
no
dog.
time in
Oh my
Backbreaker.
goodness.
So we was like, yo, but even though we was getting creamed and throwing INTs, we was like, no, this is how it needs to be. Learn how to play. Pay attention to your personnel and the form. I think it was they had see what their form was like, and that's it. You got to be mindful of what plays you call. You can't play it like Madden, and that's the point. They actually gave us the football untethered, uncanned, unfiltered, whereas Madden gave us this very watered down, heavily filtrated, version of what should happen in the trenches. So I want to see the trenches be as unforgiving as possible. I would love to go into the sliders and zero everything out and see what happens. Is it going to give me a true, is it going to make the pocket presence that much tougher to deal with and give me lesser time in the pocket? And occasionally I have good holds so I can get those passes out. Because think about it. Now, with this controls, with the passing, that rush can come in relatively quick. I can get it out. See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I love the fact that you give us a sandbox the right way and let us be able to play the game the way we should be able to play it. That's why we can love stuff like this. Once again, it sounds great on paper. We only played a little bit, but once we're able to play a lot more, we definitely will be bringing it to you. And that's what I'm just saying. I'm hoping for the best. I want to be able. I want to cheer Madden on. I really do. And 2K with whatever they come with. I hope it's something to push the.
Come on, 2K.
I hope whatever 2K did, I hope they come with something authentic too. So then I could be like, oh, now I see why Madden did what they did. Exactly. Beyond the fact of Madden passing away, unfortunately, but I can see why they did this way. It makes perfect sense now. And then now we got 2 games. I want it to be 2 games. I want to see them both win. I don't want one. I want more. And then that's gonna make EA do stuff like this every year, not just once. Cause we ain't seen EA come like this. I don't know how long.
Been a while.
So this is some good freaking stuff. But that's all I got, man. I don't want to get sidetracked because I know we got limited time.
There's a couple things to consider. And I'll just throw this out here, and then I'll read the blocking thing. Did Madden's passing really make that much of a turnaround to the game, the vision of the game? The reason why I say that is because when he was alive, this is the stuff that he wanted to see happen. You know what I mean? Now, it could have, but I'm just saying that would be a little crazy if that was what lit the fuse. And then also, could it be, and I'm just trying to think outside of the box, 2K and the NFL and EA made it sure for us to know that the license deal that they have with 2K is non-simulation. All 3 of those conglomerates said that. Could it be that the NFL said, all right, y'all got to step it up. Y'all got to start really replicating the sport now. We're going to let them do this over here, but we're going to let you keep this simulation license, but now you got to, could be. I don't know, but clearly something has changed, and maybe it's the mere fact that the NFL has done some type of deal with the NFL, allowed the EA execs to say, whoa, hold on. Hold on now. We got to get this game in shape. Whatever the case may be, I'm happy that it happened. And we'll see how the game turns out. Blocking, it says here, to bring balance and more authenticity, we added new pass blocking animations that will work in combination with our pass rush AI. Some of the new animations you'll notice are engagements that get more depth in and around the pocket, so it will collapse without always having to have a defender shed a block. This includes edge animations that both bring pressure as well as set the edges of the pocket. And lastly, add-on blocks, which was discussed in the field sense notes, but we wanted to call them out again because the ability to route runners and open field blockers to seamlessly enter and exit ongoing blocks is something that players have been wanting to see. Okay. Also, if you decided to just control F for escape artists, we got you. It says escape artist has been pulled from the passive superstar ability pool and is now an X factor in Madden 23. Oh, okay. So not everybody will be able to have that apparently. I guess when it was a superstar ability, multiple people were getting it, I guess. But now it's but it's the X factor, so it has to be, you have to heat up, I guess, in order to activate it. That's what it sounds like. Once you've met the in-game X factor, there we go. See, there it is right there. It says once you've met the in-game X factor conditions to activate it, the boost granted with escape artists when activated will be reduced compared to previous years. We still want to offer the explosive play making ability for mobile quarterbacks fulfill. This is a better balanced approach. We'll have more details on Superstar X Factor abilities in a future Gridiron Notes for 23, but we know this one was important to our most dedicated players. Okay, I am cool with that. Definitely make it something that has to be engaged, and I guess, Smitty, I didn't run into it too much playing in sim leagues, but, for those of you guys that dibble and dabble in MUT, I was hearing that everybody was using it. It was the meta. So it is good to see now that it's actually an X factor that you have to, be rewarded with getting it in game based off of performance or what have you. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just say real quick, as far as blocking and everything, what I do like, what I should say is what my takeaway from it is, it feels more of like a NHL / FIFA kind of deal. It's, they still are, you're still going to have 1v1 interactions. Okay. That's going to be part of it. There's no going around that. But for them to a degree, make it even more of an organic thing in terms of being able to slide off blocks, or like they're saying about the blocking. Being able to pick up blocks relatively easy and not necessarily getting stuck into animations, like as tough. Shedding the block. There it is, shedding the block. So it's nice, as well as running screenplays, block and release, for tight end routes. So that's something I got to see. But if I'm able to look at it and it looks pretty seamless, that's going to be really good, because we've always seen players get stuck in animations, and it's like, oh man, this animation's got to play out, or this animation overrides stuff. Now, if they could do a simple chuck and then keep it going, animations real quick, and they could get in and out of, that's going to remind me a lot of FIFA, because they have two-man animations in their game too, but you really can't tell. And I mean, FIFA spent plenty more years refining and getting their system tight with their animations. But the point is that they have two-man animation interaction where you can be interacting in a two-man, like you could be jostling for the ball, trying to box out a defender, trying to keep the ball, and be in and out of that two-man animation real quick. Like it looks real silky smooth with the transition going in, through, and out of the animation. So I want to see the same thing happen with Madden eventually. Like, I don't know, we may see some signs of it while playing the game here, but I'm just saying I want to see that going forward. It grow into something that's even more smoother, to the point where it's slip. You know what I mean? Where it's all about angles, body positioning. What position did you taking advantage of a position in terms of making a play, which was like when I got hit stick tackled. The defender hit me, but it wasn't like how we're used to seeing the hit stick where they perfectly are lined up and it's a two-man animation that triggers. It's like, no, my guy was being held up. battling up against him. I'm up here mashing X trying to push back and break free. And this other dude comes up and he just so happens to hit me on the side. Because I'm directly interacting with the guy pushing up against him. Dude hits me on the side with the hit stick, but he's coming at a slightly different angle than his teammate was when that engaged with me. It wasn't like he T-boned me or hit me from the back. It was like a slight angle, dang near the same, and just boom. He had enough of an angle to make an impactful hit. That's the point. And I'm pretty sure if somebody hit sticks me again in the game or gives me a hard hit tackle, it'll look different. You know what I'm saying? Because of the physics. And it's like, that's the stuff I want to see. It may be a bit static-ish to a degree at first, but if they keep building upon these systems like this and keep refining it and expanding it, it'll start being real silky smooth. So
yeah, man. And again, guys, we gotta wait and see. Just like, and shout outs to C. Antoine Hill, man. Thank you for the donation. Of course, he says, Sim and Smitty, the game sounds good, but we shall see. I know the bull who did the cover on the game, and y'all got to understand, my man C. Antoine Hill is from Philly, so he wrote out, he spelled out the way they say boy. If you know the Philly accent, they say bull. So he's saying he knows the cat who did the artwork on the cover. That's dope. Yeah, man, let's keep moving, man, so we can get through the article. And I know some people are saying, I see in the chat, the animations ruin the game and all. We get it. You hear me and Smitty talk about this all the time, but it's impossible for a game to not have animations. What you look for is that physics dictate the animation, or physics augments the animation, or physics drives the outcome. That's what you look for in any game. Every single game has animations in it.
Yep.
It's just real-time physics help allow those things to change and develop as the play goes on. So that's the perfect marriage. It says additional fundamental football improvements. Let me skim over this a little bit. Catching, new context-sensitive catching. Animations have been added so that no matter where you place the ball with the new field sense skill-based passing mechanic, the appropriate catch will follow. Okay, now that's big words, EA.
Yeah.
That's big words. You're talking about the appropriate animation is triggering. We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah.
Throwing to the furthest lead point on a streak route with the skill-based passing will allow your receiver to catch it while reaching out over his shoulders. I did see a dope one in that trailer. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it was like, I think it was the Cowboys maybe. He kind of caught it to the side. That was a dope animation. Go look at the reveal trailer and you'll see it. It might not have been the Cowboys, but I think it was a white and blue team, or white. I think it was a Cowboy or a Colt or somebody, but go find it. You'll see it. If you throw to a receiver's back shoulder on a streak, you'll see the new back shoulder animations. We've also included new fade catch animations when throwing corner and fade routes towards the sidelines or corner of the end zone. Playbooks. It says, let me just skim it here. Playbooks says better tie-in with our gameplay feature set while also adding enough that's new to bring value to both new and veteran players. Defense, the better tie-in. Let me just skim this, guys. Pass coverage and defense alignment. Oh, okay. It says to better tie in with our pass coverage and defense alignment improvements, we redefine plays available in our defensive sets to help ensure they're able to function properly when matched against common offensive looks. In the NFL, defensive coordinators strive to marry the coverage shell and the alignment of the front together so that structurally they can function without the need for too many special adjustments. Now that's interesting because it says, wait a minute now, marry the coverage shell and the alignment of the front. Now that is an interesting thing I need to pay more attention to. What this means for Madden 23 is lower play counts in each defensive set compared to previous years, but we believe players will appreciate that the plays available in each set will better hold up from an alignment, pass coverage, and run defense perspective. Y'all know how many times you've heard many people in the community talk about alignment in this game. So that is interesting. Got to keep an eye on that one. It says an example of this in our 3-4 and 4-3 undersets, players will notice most of the plays available will show a single high safety middle of the field closed look. We added new plays such as cover 2 invert and trap blitzes that will look like cover 1 or cover 3 to the offense. These new plays will complement the improvements to our deep zone pass coverage. Okay. Let's see. On the offensive side, our goal is focusing on what the teams actually do as it relates to their real-life counterparts. In the past, we've seen teams use a formation in a consistent basis, but only ran a handful of plays, and thus that formation would be filled with common plays shared across multiple playbooks. For Madden 23, we focused on adding the core plays and concepts each NFL team used most, which resulted in more concise and slightly smaller playbooks that are more team-specific and unique. We'll do a deeper dive in the future in the Gridiron Notes specific plays and other changes we've made for playbooks. Okay. AI quarterbacks. What does it say here? AI quarterbacks have been tuned to give better differentiation in how well they see the field under pressure depending on their rating. Quarterbacks with a lower awareness rating will struggle to find open receivers and have a higher chance of throwing to a partially covered target, allowing your defense to make a big play. Amen. I hope that means that we're going to see more inaccurate passes. I will let you guys know right now I'm playing on all Madden. I did see Tua throw an inaccurate pass to the sideline, that no slider adjustment. That is a good thing to see because you don't really see that on all Madden in years past.
And you also,
go ahead, Smitty.
Yep, I was going to say, Kevin has said here in the chat here, he said because he's playing the beta, he said it looks like the CPU is using the passing system. Jimmy G just airmailed one.
I love it. I love that.
Nice. That is and he's playing on all pro default, I think he said. So
yeah, my first game, well, I didn't play a full game still. I'm about to get to halftime. My first playing of the beta, I played the first 2 quarters. It was on all pro, and it played pretty well. So that's why I flipped it to all Madden in this game to see if I feel a difference. Let's see what else we got here. Injuries and signature content. Injuries. New injury animations have been added to players while standing and running. Okay. We've also added new injury animations when battling in the trenches, primarily so that when injuries happen, the immersion isn't broken by seeing an injured player instantly running back to the huddle. Yeah, I hated that. Small things, guys, is the details. When a player gets injured during the play, you'll see the appropriate behavior as he goes to the ground, and he'll stay on the ground until he's assisted off the field by the training staff. What?
Right.
Okay. Visually, we're going to see that?
That's what we should see. So it's like, okay, cool.
We shall see. Signature content. We've captured new signature animations for a selection of top players in the league to add some of the latest and best big play and touchdown celebrations seen on game day. We already know the Gritty is in there. In addition to this, we've added more signature animations to celebration Locomotion so players will run into the end zone more like their real-life counterparts. Okay. And that's pretty much it, guys, as far as this particular article. Just don't have time tonight to go into all of these, but there is a deep dive I'll show you guys. There's one for Field Sense. I recommend you guys, read that. I did read that article. There's a lot of information in there. And there's one in regards to the beta. And there's a welcome to Madden 23.1 as well, which, you can find the trailer here. You know what, Smitty, as we wrap up, man, and if you want to go ahead and, add some lasting comments on what we just talked about, what I actually will do is, let me make this a little bigger.
Oh, can you get the link for the information? Brett was asking for it.
For what? For
what we went over. The articles, the gameplay notes and stuff.
Yeah, I'll post it, but I'll let you guys know that it is at.
Because
Hold on, let
it's
me
in
just
the
get it.
trailer. It's in the trailer description too. That's where I pulled it up from.
Yeah, it's right here, so y'all have it. This is basically just go to easports.com, go to Madden 23. You're gonna click the drop down. I'll show you guys right here, Gridiron Notes, and it's gonna bring all of this up. I just posted the link to this page. So the information that I just read is here. This one, gameplay, foundational football. Then there's welcoming you to Madden 23. There's the Field Sense deep dive. There's pre-orders for you guys who are into that. And then there's the beta one. All right. But what I will actually do right here while we wrap up for the last about 9 minutes or so, I'm going to just play this trailer and I'm going to show you guys when that catch comes up. I'm going to show you the catch I was talking about. So yeah, Smitty, what else we got, man? I mean, I'm sure we will be talking about this for several weeks. So tonight was a quick one, and we'll dive right back in next week.
Yeah, I really don't have much more really to add other than look. I mean, I haven't played the game a ton so far, but the little bit that I did get to play, they may not be, it may not be blowing smoke. Like I said, I can't truly say yet. I definitely will be able to say by this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll truly be able to tell you something.
Tua just threw another inaccurate pass. Sense the pressure. Cam Hayward and Tua was coming, and he bailed to the left really quick and threw that thing. Okay.
Yep.
I'm keeping an eye on that for sure.
So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, like that's the whole thing. This beta is gonna get, like I said, it's gonna give me an idea. That's like test driving a car, you know what I mean? To a degree, like you're test driving it. The car's not coming out yet. They still can make some tweaks and refinements along the way, but overall, I can drive the car and be like, hey, yo, even though it's got its issues here and there they need to fix, but it still gives a decent ride. It gives me a good ride. That's all I'm saying regarding what I want to see happen with this beta. Like with my time with it, I want that to honestly be the case, but we got to wait and see how it all unfolds. So
there it is. There go the catch right there, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
There it is. That was a cool animation. It's going to be quick, guys. Y'all see it? That kind of it kind of lends to what it was saying in the article. Watch. See how he catches it over his shoulder like that?
Yeah. He threw it right to that
and
spot.
how his body is leaning, like that looks kind of, you know what I mean? That looks more realistic in terms of how the body should be moving in that scenario. But again, man, TBD, man. I mean,
right.
we're not making a final decision on this game today. I feel like this is what we're supposed to do. The same way, and we're not, but the same way journalists do. I mean, you're gonna talk about the now. And once we find out what the game is or isn't, then we'll talk about that. We could be, and a couple of months from now, we could be saying this. Dog, man, I ain't seeing none of that stuff they talked about.
Right.
This ain't playing out, man. I don't know what. Or we could be saying, yo, this game is as advertised.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. So again, I'm not telling anybody how to behave or act, but I just don't get into all of the it's the same. It's this and that.
Yeah.
I don't, because you know why I don't do that? There's gonna be a moment in which I really can tell that. And I don't have to assume or speculate. There's gonna be a defining moment where I can say, yeah, it's the same. Or I can say, nah, this game is pretty on point. So I just choose to wait until then. But again, tonight's, was just us breaking down what was said there. And listen, man, on paper, you can't, in my opinion, I can't deny what they're stating is in this game. Now it's up to them to deliver on what they're telling us is this game is all about. And that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Like Smitty said, I have more opportunity to play it. Unfortunately, guys, it's no captures, no stream or anything like that. If it was, I would. I love to stream so people can see that I'm just playing and I'm not setting up anything. You see it in real time. But yeah, come next week, man, we'll be able to give you a better assessment of, how we feel about the game as a whole in terms of where it is now, being in beta state. So I don't have anything else, man. And look, we finished up right on time, so I can go get myself into bed, man, and get ready for an early start tomorrow morning. Yeah, man, I'm crazy, guys. Y'all, my home office is in DC. I live in Pennsylvania. So figure it out. I live, to give you guys a landmark, I live in a place called York, right? It's in between Philly and Baltimore. So I'm about an hour from Baltimore, about an hour and 20 from Philly. So that is my commute when I go into my home office. I have to drive, and I've been driving. I haven't even got on public transportation, since COVID and all that. And not so much that, but, with all of the wild stuff going on in the world, I'd rather just be in my own car, So what I do is I drive from here down to DC. I leave at about 10 minutes to 6 in the morning. So there you have it. That's why, Thursdays, are going to be cut a little shorter than they used to back in the day. At some point, I think we will take that day away. So I'll be, because I'm mostly at home now, but I think at some point in the future, we'll switch the day where I'm not going in on on Friday morning. So when we do that, then maybe we can extend the show a little more. But right now, just bear with me, guys. The plan is for it to be an hour, but in some cases like tonight, we can stretch it to about 9:30. And there you have it. I'm always transparent with you guys. And yes, guys, I'm taking a note of it right now. Smitty will get half of these donations. I'm going to make sure I keep track of that. So hold on. I'm going to do it right now. It's 5, 10, 15.
Don't forget, King Arthur had 20, another comment that wasn't read off.
25, 30. All right, Smitty. So let me jot this down so I don't forget. I will shoot Smitty $15. Which is half of the 30. And to tell y'all how real I am, Smitty gets the bigger cut. Because YouTube gonna take some of that. But I don't care. I'm gonna just give him half. I'll take the lower end. You said King Arthur said what now?
He had a comment. Yeah, from when he had donated last. He had a comment. He said, Sim, how do you make sure that when you pull up the freeform reticle, it pulls up with the receiver you want to throw to?
I'm gonna be honest, King Arthur, and I was just gonna say that here on the show. Man, I don't know. Man, I'm just learning on the fly because, like Smitty said, there's no practice mode. So it is really trial by fire. Like I'm literally learning in real time how the pass mechanic works, and I haven't gotten it down pat yet. It seems like I keep throwing bullets. So because I think there's another meter that can dictate. I think I have power on. So according to the article, based on how long you hold the button determines where it goes. So if you do a certain portion of the meter, it's a lob, and then a certain portion, it's a regular pass, and then a certain portion. And I haven't learned it yet. One thing I will say is reading the article, there is no more low point because you can create that with the pass if you press down, it said. But I think the high point pass is still there. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. Either way, I got my work cut out for me this weekend. I got to figure this out.
It's the high in the middle and the bullet pass. The low pass modifier isn't there no more because you have the full range of the left analog stick. So it's like if you're gonna throw it low, what they say, you just aim low,
Just
and
pull
throw
down
it to that receiver. Yeah, you just aim low. That's it.
See, I just threw a pick. And I don't know why. See, the way the ball just went, it's gonna take some getting used to. But I like that. I like that because I think once you perfect, well, what I can say really quick, guys, and then we'll close it up. It ain't target passing, so it seems to be way easier, or it works. It's more fluid than what target passing was. So from what I can see already, once you get it and once you know what you're doing, it's gonna be sweet. Because there's a lot of customization too. There's a lot of different things you can do to set yours up this way, that way, that way. So, and you can go back to classic passing. So if I like that, if you don't want any of the new passing mechanics, you can go back to the classic passing if that's what you prefer. I just wouldn't suggest you throw a fade that way. So, but all right, man, we're gonna get out of here, guys. There you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it. So hopefully this is what it is. We'll be able to report more on this after we play it a little bit. I still plan to do an independent video slowing down the trailer and just pointing out some things that I see in it. Didn't get a chance to do that today, but I'll try to get that done at least by Saturday. So I'll say that. But outside of that, guys, we definitely appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for sticking with us all these years. You guys always come show up when it's time for us to talk, so we appreciate it. Stay safe. God bless.
Yeah.
Good night. And again, we appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.